What's going on, everybody? Back with another prediction video. Next up is Wake Forest, the Deacons, Dave Clawson. Um, they're just a steady of the road, year in and year out bowl team. 6-6, 7-5, maybe an 8-4. Occasional 5-7s, but yeah, usually 6-6, 7-5, somewhere in there. Um, I have Wake Forest as the fourth most talented team in the ACC, and that's including Notre Dame, a part of the ACC. And I also have them 11th in returning production. That's wrong. I have to flip those. It's 11th in talent rankings and 4th in returning production. Don't know why I did that. Okay. So in 2018, 7-6, 2019, 8-4, and COVID year 4-5. So like I said, kind of consistent there. Um, so yeah, schedule is home against Old Dominion, home against Norfolk State. Home against Florida State, at Virginia, home against Louisville, at Syracuse, at Army, home against Duke, at North Carolina, home against NC State, at Clemson, and then you finish off the year in Chapel Hill against Boston College. All right, let's get into it. So the first two games, I have you winning. I just think you haven't, Dave Clawson's always got a good offense, and I just think you'd be able to outscore these smaller schools. Um, so third game, home against Florida State. I have that as an upset win. I have Florida State beating Notre Dame and then going back to normal Florida State and losing to Wake Forest. Um, Florida State's more talented, but they have less returning production, and Florida State has always have had great talent, but they just can't get the coaching, and I have no idea what Mike Norvell's going to do. And I just still think Florida State's a decent amount away from being where they want to be. So 3-0 to start the season. Next is at Virginia. I have you losing that game. I have it I split the difference. Since I have you beating Florida State, I have you losing to Virginia. Virginia's a good team. They're more talented. They lost a lot, but I think Bronco Mendenhall can pull this off with it being at home for him. And yeah, like I said, I kind of split the difference there and upset over Florida State and then heartbreaker against Virginia. Next is home against Louisville. Louisville, everybody's hating on Louisville this year. They're a strange team. Good coach. Not a lot of talent, but they're starting to get more talent in there. But they also lost a lot after last year. I have them second to last in returning production in the ACC. I Wake Forest beating Louisville. Just more talent at home, more returning production. Um, Scott Satterfield, he's a good coach, but I don't necessarily know if he's proved it yet on the bigger stages. He's got a good quarterback coming back, but I just think Dave Clawson is going to outmatch him, and you're going to win that game. Next is on the road at Syracuse. You should be able to win this game too. I think they're not as bad as Duke, but they're close enough. They have a lot coming back, but I just don't see them getting to where they were a couple years ago. I just don't think they have the right quarterback and enough talent to get to where they want to be also. So you start off season 5-1. That's a hell of a start for Wake Forest. Now you go on the road at Army. I have you losing Army. I think with it being at Army, Monken's a hell of a coach. I just think the triple option gets to Wake Forest. I don't necessarily know how good Dave Clawson's against the triple option, but I just think with this game being at Army, kind of midway through the season, it's kind of a weird spot, and I just see it being an upset loss. Army's usually really good, and they're like I said, they're gonna run the triple option, and I don't know if Wake Forest defense can be ready for it. Next is home against Duke. You should be able to beat Duke. Duke is probably, to me, they're the worst Power 5 team. Now, statistically, they're one of the worst, but to me, they are the worst. I just think it's Cutcliffe's. I think it's time for him to go. I think it's just past his time. They lost a lot, and they don't recruit enough. So, and Chase Bryce still their quarterback. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but he's seems like he's nothing now. So who knows? But I just think Duke's falling off the edge of the earth, and you should win that game. Next is at North Carolina. Now, if you've seen the North Carolina video, you know the result of this, and I have you losing to North Carolina. I just think Sam Howell's too good. They're way more talented than you. You're on the road. Mac Brown's probably a better coach than Dave Clawson, and they just have a lot coming back on that defense, and I just think it's going to be too much for you. Next game is home against NC State. I went back and forth with this game. I don't know what to decide on this one, so I kind of just stuck with my. Well, I didn't really stick with my gut. I kind of actually went against my gut because I had you beating NC State, but then I kind of changed it because it's kind of in a funky spot between North Carolina and Clemson, and it's the same talent wise, same returning production, same kind of coaching. I don't know. I just think NC State's defense can be able to hold up, and I think they're going to get it done. Like I said, it's in a weird spot between two huge teams. It's starting to become November now. I don't know. NC State's winning this game. Next is at Clemson. You're losing that game. I mean, it's Clemson. Yeah, with it being at Clemson, I don't see that game being close. And then last game is at Boston College. I have you losing this game also. I just think, not saying they have a better coach, but I just think with it being late November in Chapel Hill, a lot of stuff happens up there in the cold. And I think they have a good enough quarterback to take you down, and got a lot coming back. Similar talent. Late November in not Chapel Hill. What's the name of their? I can't remember. But at Boston College in November, it's a tough place to be, and so I have you going 6-6, 4-5 in the ACC. I mean, I could see them going like 8-4 this year. Oh, 7-5, I guess, because I don't see you beating Virginia and Army and NC State. Like, I see you kind of splitting all those games. Well, I guess you could go 8-4. This was a tough one. This was one of the tougher ones for me. But I kind of related it to the last, few years of what Wake Forest has done in the ACC, and it's kind of been around that 4-5 range, and so I kind of stuck with that. And 6-6 is a good record for them. Bowl game. They'll be all right. But yeah, so 6-6, 4-5 in the ACC. I'd like to see what you guys think down below. So please comment. Let me know what you guys think. Like the video, share, and subscribe. Thank you.